New One Punch Man chapters are finally back, and they are back with a freaking bang because this chapter is probably one of the most exciting and honestly also gruesome ones that we've gotten in a really long time. After all the hype these past few chapters, we have finally gotten to the moment where it seems like Flashy Flash and Sonic are fighting the ninja leader, and his introduction literally blew my freaking mind. Like, there's so much to talk about in this chapter, even if it is a short one, because there is also a ton of god reveals here, and I think it's setting up a lot of important key details for the future of the story, which we're going to talk about in a bit. But enough babbling in the intro, let's get right into this chapter. So since it's been literally like over a month since we got a One Punch Man chapter, we got to remember that the previous one ended with Flashy Flash and Sonic fighting the Heavenly Ninja Party, and Flashy Flash pretty much easily takes them all out as Sonic watches him kind of in awe and also in jealousy, seeing how much stronger he's become. And the key to Flashy Flash's success versus the Heavenly Ninja Party, aside from him being super strong, is the fact that he learned to grow and to adapt and to essentially open his mind to new concepts and fighting ideas, things like that, and has gotten some serious battle experience from the Monster Association arc. So we pick up this chapter with one of the Heavenly Ninja Party members asking Flashy Flash why he didn't kill all of them when he could have done it easily. And Flashy Flash responds with like one of the most Flashy Flash things he could say, because he says, "As they say, even the smallest of insects have souls. I figured I'd at least let you hear the real truth about the village before you die." So yeah, this Flashy Flash being like nice, but at the same time super condescending like he always is. But that's not important, because next he finally reveals the truth about God being somehow related to the ninja village, and he actually reveals something that us as readers have never known either. So this is like brand new information. Flashy Flash says, "We believe the village was a testing ground for creating minions of God, similar to that man. From a young age, taking away their humanity, torturing them with training to their very limits. Sonic, you saw what I saw underground too, right? The cube was being used to test people's suitability as minions of God. If you are not suitable, your life is forfeit." And we get this flashback image of Flashy Flash and Sonic as kids apparently stumbling across this like secret room where it has these piles of ashes and bones, indicating that these were all failed minions of God. Like, if you guys remember back when we first met God in the manga, after Flashy, Saitama, and Minako touched that cube, God asked them to put their hand on the cube, and if they are worthy, he will grant them power, but if they are not worthy, their life is forfeit. And we saw what that means with Homeless Emperor, because the dude just straight up got turned into ash. So this is super interesting, because as Flashy Flash continues to say, the image of the village being a training facility for assassins, that was just a facade. In other words, all of you who were safely shipped out as assassins, from that man's perspective, you were not elite, but instead utter failures. So this is huge. Apparently this whole ninja village of creating these world-class assassins, pretty much killing machines, was just a farce, kind of a cover-up or even a secondary benefit of pretty much owning this facility where they have these fodder ninja, these people that they're going to use as specimens in order to potentially make them minions of God, just like that man is, aka the ninja leader. That also perfectly explains why the ninja village itself looks like a giant cube, like a giant God cube. This means that God has direct influence over this place, and he's literally trying to create like a minion farm here. So this is something that's like brand new to the manga and the webcomic, a completely new concept. So it's really exciting to kind of dig into what possibly God is doing here. Aside from obviously making his minions, there has to be a reason why the ninja leader specifically was the one chosen to do this, or the one that decided to make this on his own. And we're probably going to get some answers in a bit, because we get a massive reveal, even bigger than this one next. You also got to wonder too, like, how the hell did Flashy Flash forget this entire scene? And how did Sonic forget it? How do you not remember seeing a pile of ashes and bones as a kid? You know what I mean? But that's not the important thing. This does also open the door to the possibility that there are other ninja minions of God out there. Maybe ones that God did deem as worthy and gave him some of his power. Empty Void might not be the only one now. So I'm curious to see how this is going to affect the later storylines that Flashy Flash is involved in, and how it's going to tie back to the overarching plot of the story. Because now there is a possibility that once we get to the end of the series, when it's pretty much all the good guys versus God and his army of, you know, evil demons or evil avatars, whatever you want to call them, there's a chance that a faction of them now will be just like straight up ninjas. I don't know, just something to think about. Well, Flashy Flash continues to tell them that they had their freedom, but they chose to follow that man anyway and throw their lives away. But it seems like they're under some kind of like brain control or something, because they start laughing maniacally. They like lose their pupils and start bleeding out of their orifices and stuff like that. And one of them says, "Our lives stolen, you say? How presumptuous. Why do you assume they weren't offered?" They are still very clearly loyal to that man. And again, like I said, seem to be brainwashed in some way, because in this next panel, they have these demonic looks on their faces like they're literally possessed. And honestly, we don't get too many like scary panels or really ominous coolest panels from Murata here. So this just goes to show Murata's versatility here, because he draws a scary ass panel when he needs to. And again, we don't get those that often, so it's very, very much welcomed when we do get them. The man continues on saying that they're blessed, that they're serving that man, that they're completely okay with giving their lives for him. But suddenly they all start convulsing heavily, and the man that was just talking starts saying, it's that man. That man is finally arriving. No doubt you'll soon realize that getting killed by us would have been much more pleasant. By consuming human blood and organs, that man has been truly born anew. There is no future for any of you. And then literally out of freaking nowhere, they start like spewing blood everywhere, like out of their mouths, out of their eyes. Their bodies get totally inflated as their intestines burst out of them. Like, this stuff is straight out of a horror manga, guys. Like, just look at this panel. All their organs are like conglomerating into this giant blob in the air and create this massive orb of flesh before it starts caving in on itself. And then we see that at the center of that ball of flesh is the ninja leader himself, who for some reason just like sucks it all in, or maybe he formed his body out of their flesh. I'm not exactly sure what's happening here, but it's freaking insane. It looks so friggin' awesome. Again, I just can't commend Murata's artwork when it comes to like drawing super scary and horror-like panels. I don't think he gets enough credit for that stuff, so bravo to him for this one. And then of course we get this absolutely amazing looking panel of the ninja leader himself finally coming face to face with Flashy and Sonic. And the dude straight up looks like a demon from like a Berserk manga or something. I can't remember a cooler intro for a monster or anybody in the manga like this. And it also really surprised me that he ended up here with Flashy Flash and Sonic right now, because I thought the ninja leader would end up fighting Blast or something. I kind of assumed he was way too strong for Flashy Flash and Sonic to handle, and it would have been really cool to get some more insight on, you know, what happened between Blast and the ninja leader, you know, Empty Void as he was formerly known as. There had to be something at some point that split both of them and caused Empty Void to go to the evil side. And as you guys can notice, he has those two legendary blades across his back. Those of you that are webcomic readers, you know exactly how important those two blades are for the future of the story, specifically for Flashy Flash and Sonic. So I'm just so curious to see how all of this is going to play out, because this is all brand new stuff that is happening. Sure, the ninja leader was involved in the webcomic, but he was nowhere near as involved in this capacity. So what I'm thinking is going to happen, since, you know, we still have those loose ends with Blast to tie up, is that Flashy Flash and Sonic are going to fight the ninja leader. They're probably going to get overwhelmed and not be able to defeat him on their own, and that's when Blast and Saitama show up. Hopefully Saitama doesn't touch this dude, like he has nothing to do with this fight, so it doesn't end so freaking quickly. But just imagine seeing an all-out fight between Blast, Sonic, and Flashy versus that man, aka Empty Void. We're probably going to be getting that in the next chapter, but I am so excited for this one. The art was incredible. We finally got a new chapter after like over a month, and we finally get the introduction of Empty Void in his monster god form. Let me know in the comments how strong you think this guy's going to be, how you think this stuff is going to play out, and how excited you are for this chapter. If, you know, you're not excited, let me know in the comments below too. Any opinion is valid, so that's cool. I don't just do chapter reviews though, so if you're new to the channel and want to watch some more One Punch Man content, then click the video you see on your screen right now and enjoy some more One Punch Man content. I got plenty of it. That does it for this one though. Have an absolutely wonderful day, afternoon, evening, whatever, and I'll see you guys in the next video.